YORK Stucco. Hello, this is an instructional video for the new YORK Stucco Direct Applied Finishing System, abbreviated as DAFS. DAFS is utilized over masonry substrates wherever a highly durable, textured, and uninsulated wall finishing system is required. The DAFS design excludes the use of EPS or XPS insulation board and is widely used for soffits and areas that do not require an insulating or EFIS system. In the DAFS system, all new YORK Stucco components are applied directly to the substrate. DAFS can be applied over fiberglass mesh reinforced cement backerboard sheathing, such as Durock, manufactured by United States Gypsum, masonry block, poured or precast concrete, new or existing cement stucco, and galvanized wire lathe. In this video, we'll be demonstrating an application of the direct applied system of new YORK Stucco Finish over a typical masonry substrate, namely the fiberglass mesh reinforced cement backerboard known as Durock. We'll be using the following tools and products for this installation: an electric screw gun, 1 1/4 inch Durock brand wood screws, an electric hand drill with mixing paddle, a stainless steel plaster's trowel, a plastic float trowel, new YORK Stucco 4.5 ounce fiberglass mesh, new YORK Stucco dry base coat, and new YORK Stucco Finish. Professional installers understand that the key to any successful installation is governed by the quality of their job preparedness. Let's discuss some important points as pertain to the variety of masonry surfaces. All surfaces must be thoroughly cured, dry, and clean before the new YORK Stucco Direct Applied Finishing System is employed. Moisture content of existing substrates shall not exceed 16%, except for white coat plaster, which may not exceed 6% of moisture. A minimum air and wall surface temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius must be maintained during and for 48 hours following the installation. Masonry block shall be laid perfectly plumb and true, free of excess mortar and with all joints neatly tooled to a concave joint. All defects, such as chipped edges and large voids, shall be carefully pointed and filled with mortar. All projecting mortar shall be ground and large holes shall be filled. Porous block shall be air pressure dusted to remove loose particles. All mortar joints shall be thoroughly cured. When finishing poured or precast concrete, no curing compounds or form release agents which may affect proper coating adhesion shall be used. Immediately after forms have been stripped, all fins and other projections shall be removed. Voids and other damaged areas shall be filled with block fill. Tie rods or other projecting metal must be cut back at least 1 inch and coated with a cement mortar mixture. Plaster surfaces shall be finished with a Portland cement steel troweled finish. Vermiculite, perlite, or keen cement plaster are not acceptable substrates. New YORK Stucco additive and bonding agent aids in bonding new base coat to existing masonry or concrete substrate. If a potential adhesion problem exists due to old, worn, flaky, or contaminated surfaces, coat the substrate with new YORK Stucco additive and bonding agent before applying new YORK Stucco base coat. Substrates requiring further water repellency and weather protection should employ new YORK Stucco weather barrier as a component of the application. If you encounter a previously painted surface, consult a new YORK Stucco representative for proper recommendations. Now, let's return to the specifics of the fiberglass mesh reinforced cement backerboard installation. The first step in the process is to examine the substrate to ensure that the cement backerboard has been securely fastened with the appropriate screws and that the fastening screws have been properly located and spaced. Note that the textured side of the board faces outward and forms the application substrate. Cement board is readily applied over wood framing with 1 1/2 inch hot-dipped galvanized roofing nails or 1 1/4 inch Durock brand wood screws. For steel framing, use 1 1/4 inch Durock brand steel screws. Fasteners should be spaced 8 inches on center for walls and 6 inches on center for ceilings. Leave an 1/8 inch gap between all panel edges. Follow the backerboard manufacturer's specifications and local building code in order to meet all necessary requirements. Once the cement backerboard has been inspected and is properly secured, we begin the installation of the New York Stucco direct applied system by first mixing 50 pounds of New York Stucco base coat with 1.5 gallons of water, in accordance with the package instructions found on the bag. When the base coat is ready, dab all screw heads with the base coat to cover them completely. Next, roll apply a 4 to 5 inch band of New York Stucco base coat over the joints between the cement backerboard sheathing. While the base coat is still wet, embed a 4 to 5 inch wide strip of fiberglass mesh into it. A good rule of thumb is that you should see the outline of the mesh through the base coat, but not see the color of the mesh. Allow this stage to dry for 24 hours before proceeding. The following day, prepare a mix of New York Stucco base coat as before for use over the entire surface of the cement backerboard. Now, using a stainless steel plaster's trowel, apply an even coat of base coat over the entire surface of the cement backerboard sheathing. While the base coat is still wet, embed the New York Stucco standard 4.5 ounce fiberglass mesh into the base coat. Apply additional base coat as necessary to embed the mesh. The total thickness of the base coat and the mesh should be approximately 1/8 of an inch. Again, gauge the thickness by the fact that you should see the outline of the mesh through the base coat, but not see the color of the mesh. The mesh is meant to give the wall strength and durability to resist impact. It also bridges the seams of the cement backerboard sheathing, unifying and consolidating it into one continuous substrate. When applying the mesh, overlap individual pieces by approximately 2.5 inches as shown. Allow this stage to dry 24 hours before proceeding. The following day, scrape down all loose debris or high spots from the base coat in preparation for installation of the finish coat. New York Stucco Finish Coat is a ready mixed product. Open the pail and stir the contents with an electric mixing paddle for approximately 2 minutes to ensure that all ingredients are thoroughly blended and homogeneous. Always work with clean tools and use a wet edge when applying finish coat to avoid a cold joint appearance in the finish coat. Using the stainless steel plaster's trowel, apply finish to the wall. New York Stucco is supplied in a variety of finish textures. Each texture has its own selected blend of aggregate that delivers a unique finished look. The wall should be covered to a maximum thickness equal to the size of the aggregate in the particular finish selected. Once the finish is applied to the wall, pull it down tight with the trowel to the depth of the aggregate, removing excess material as you go. Allow the applied areas to set up for approximately 1 minute, then texturize the surface with a plastic float trowel using a circular motion. Protect the finished work from weather elements for 24 hours or longer. New York Stucco comes in 5 finishes and 48 standard colors, but can be customized to meet the most discriminating color palette. Advantages of the DAFS system you've just witnessed include lightweight construction, fade-resistant color, substantial savings on reduced structural requirements, and long-lasting durability and easy maintenance. Always review individual product data sheets and package information for full instruction on application and use. Please contact us for technical assistance Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 718-267-6380, extension 111, or fax your inquiry to 718-204-6013.